Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, this is going to be a Divine Masculine check-in, and first off, I'm just going to see what do the Divine Masculines want the Divine Feminines to know specifically about their side of the energy right now, about what's going on for the Masculines in their energy. Okay, we've got some slightly future things going on. So transforming heartache. They're in a transformation right now. So that might seem like hermit mode. That might seem like a lot of things, but you've initiated a transformation, something you've done recently, your connection in general. It's ending some misconceptions and heartache. I'm going to pull clarifiers for both of these as it pertains to the feminines, because the masculines are specifically talking to the feminines about this transformation and wanting to end heartache. So let's see, in your own words, masculines, tell us about the transformation that you feel you're going through at this time. What are the necessary endings? What is this process like for you? What can we see? Happiness is my priority. And no in the reverse. So I'm getting, even if they've said no to you, it's been a space keeper, a time, or a space holder, a timekeeper. They've just needed to end certain cycles. And so it's because they want to be balanced and happy that they've put up some sort of a declaration, a boundary. What else did we get? You are so very special, and yeah, nah. So this death energy being in the inverse like that, it means it's a work in progress. And some days it's a yeah, some days it's a nah, but you are so very special. This is sunshiny, loud and clear, but happiness is their priority. So whatever needs to come to an end in the masculines' lives, they just have needed space to figure that out. I heard an F-bomb in my head just now. So whatever it is, please do not take it personally, Divine Feminines. They have just sort of needed to close the world out, go into the cocoon, and figure out what stays and what goes. Let's see what we can get for Three of Swords, heartache in the reverse here. Whole packet, wait. So they know in the neutral here that you may not wait, it may not be warranted, but they kind of want you to be there when they go through this. Yeah, you matter. They are waiting for you. Yeah, so it goes both ways. They want you to wait, but they're also waiting on you for some things. There have been things on your side that have caused this unbalanced energy. It hasn't just been them letting you down, and you know, it is the timing more than anything. It's not necessarily on these twin connections, it's not twins being diabolical, abusive, crazy to each other. It's mostly circumstances and growth and life lessons and things that need to be navigated like that. So the Divine Masculines are saying time heals all wounds is what I'm hearing. I'm too afraid to talk. I imagine you naked, sex with you. So, and will you choose me? So there's some jealousy there. Like after everything that's been said and done, all of the starts and stops I just heard, the thick and thin, will you still choose them? They're working on mustering that confidence that knows in their hearts. It's not just a casual thing like, oh, I think I want them, I'm going to go for it. They want to honor you. They don't want to have those imbalances. I would do anything for you, maybe. So yeah, they are on that fence of like foregoing the rest of their healing and coming forward. It's a temptation to them, but they know that they aren't fully healed yet. They know you're not fully healed. It's pulling on them though. It's a pressure that is growing, and they know that things can heal, but it's going to be a little bit more time before they feel like they've anchored that in, before they've mastered their happiness. Another way to look at that is that they have been struggling, some with depression, some with mental imbalances, some with circumstances. Just like we saw in the feminines reading yesterday, the feminines don't want to burden the masculines with the things that were pre-existing to these connections. They want to do their due diligence and clear that up so that they can get to the fun part with the masculines. And so they take accountability fully for the things that they need to in their lives. And I'm seeing that kind of a thing with masculines and their mental outlook, their emotional balance here. Okay, advice for the masculines about what we just saw. One card. Advice for the masculines regarding what we just saw. Intimacy and balance. Yeah, they want to come to you in balance. Intimacy supports us in trusting that we are safe to allow closeness. So yeah, they're working on the things that have prevented them from becoming deeply intimate. Masculines keep doing that. And balance supports our ability to find harmony with all aspects of our three-dimensional and multi-dimensional layers of reality. So they are juggling the multi-dimensional layers, the prerequisite, the histories, all of the things, the imprinting that have stopped the masculines from being, I'm hearing, naive and jumping into things with you, divine feminines. They're really clearing the past so they can fully show up, is what I'm getting. And masculines, just stay the course with that. That is truly what the love of a lifetime requires. What can the feminines see regarding the messages that have just come up? Abundance. Abundance activates our ability to manifest the wealth we need and the sense of fulfillment that comes from a heart and soul that are overflowing with love and gratitude. So if you're having financial concerns right now, this is the energy that's coming in to help you do that on your own. There are a lot of outdated templates where there's a knight in shining armor coming in to save the feminine and, be the provider. This is saying, feminines, we're coming into our wealth, our own financial provision, and that's not a competition with the provision that a masculine could give. It's not a surrogate. It's not an alternative either. It's just that each person is coming through into mastery, knowing that we can care for our own whole needs. And that gives security and confidence so that there is not a codependency functioning. So really tap into your abundance right now. We're being given all the time we need to come through all the things that are facing us so that we can come through those rite of passage and know ourselves to be truly in that abundant energy. Okay, let's see what we can for the masculines. Conscious mind for these connections, heart space, wishes in their own lives, and for these connections at this time. One more messy shuffle split. What can we see for the actions they are taking in their own lives and towards these connections? What can we see for the challenge, the solution, and the direction these connections are going in? What would the masculines say to the feminines about all the information? And then we'll get an energetic Starseed Oracle card for grounding these things. Food for thought for the feminines. That's so funny because the first card I split, I just see it says grounding and belonging. Okay, so conscious mind for these connections. 8 and 7 of Swords. So 7 of Swords, secretly they're feeling kind of trapped and powerless about something. I think it's those insecurities. The will you choose me? Is it too late? Have I done too much damage? Has this been too start and stop for other reasons? So the masculines are kind of all up in their heads right now. They could be feeling the energy of the feminines yesterday and kind of feeling like, I just heard, because that's a feminine on the card, how is my feminine going to get themselves out of this pickle? So they're rooting for you. They're watching to see. They're really looking at the skills that have been acquired on this journey for you to see you come out of it. But I am picking up on some of the angst they're feeling because of your predicaments, possibly right now because of the circumstances. Secretly, they're feeling like their hands are tied. This is kind of the feeling we get when the universe puts certain circumstances in place. But the masculines are fighting the urge to protect and save right now, I'm hearing. because they can't for some reason, logistics, maybe they're at a distance, maybe there's some business thing, maybe there's some financial thing, a family thing that's come up and they're not able to get to you, but secretly they know you can get yourself out of whatever it is. And they're also trying not to be threatened by that knowledge that you don't actually need them right now. What would they say? Flow Master, there's the Queen of Wands. So it's rare that they see you at your edge and see you struggling. It's refreshingly human, I just heard, that the masculines can see that you don't have it all figured out, that sometimes you do have things that knock you off your pedestal. And this is doing a lot of things on the conscious mind. What can we say for advice for the feminines? Temple of centering, solitude, seclusion, grounding, and belonging. You are not separate, but you are sovereign and autonomous. You are joined here with your dear counterpart and all those that you connect with. Find the sense of belonging, find the sense of grounding. This is a period of solitude in some ways, and so seek seclusion, seek deep meditation, I'm hearing, feminine, so you can very much solve whatever it is that's challenging at this time, whatever logistics. It may not feel emotionally difficult. It may just be a lot on your plate. You know, it's well with our souls, but there's a lot of it kind of stuff. You've got this. Our capacities are growing for independent abundance right now. And so the masculines are watching and holding back, or having to hold back for some reason. Logistics, I'm hearing again. What are the masculines thinking about you on the conscious mind? Wow, the King of Wands in the reverse. So that was my Queen of Wands and the Hanged One. There's that energy. So this is when the universe puts us in a headlock. There are circumstances outside of the twins' control right now preventing forward motion together just now. There is I'm hearing the masculines are being tested right now as well to remain pure and true, committed to these connections, even if they can't physically, emotionally, mentally. Somehow there's something going on where they can't be front row and center for you, divine feminines. And so they are having to maintain autonomy is what I'm hearing. Yeah, higher love. They're tapping into the higher love. They're surrendering all of it to the divine right now. This is an act of surrender. This is an act of faith. This is an act of mercy, humility, grace, compassion right now. This is a giving it over to a higher love and trusting it will all be resolved in due time, that we're all only given what we can handle, and that right now it's an autonomous motion. What can we see for advice for the feminines? Luminosity, empowerment, and forward motion. I'm just hearing the answer, the solutions will illuminate. And whatever you're facing right now, whatever it looks like in the connection, this is the path forward to the freedom, to the love that you wish to experience. Everything will come to light. Whatever you're going through right now is empowering, feminines. What are the masculines feeling on the heart space regarding the connections? Queen of Cups and Seven of Wands. So there is some bravery right now. They are tapping into intuition and unconditional love. This is reminding me of the High Priestess and the non-action, but the bravery that is required to just trust that you, divine feminine, have it handled right now. And this is compassion expanding, I'm hearing, because they're bravely dealing with the feelings that are coming up on the heart space. They love you more than they've ever loved anybody before. And that is the biggest test, is that they don't want to swoop in and save you because they know that you've got this. It's awe-inspiring, I just heard. So masculines are being brave right now. They're going through a rite of passage at this time as well. What they would say to you in this energy, is it kind? Right, exactly. So Page of Pentacles is an energy of showing up in the moment based on whether it's ultimately kind or not. So the masculines are maturing in understanding that it is kind to let everyone go through their own karmic rite of passage. that if we prevent that from happening or waylay it or pacify it, that it does not become a work complete. It becomes carpet swept. It becomes a band-aid. And they know that it is kinder to let things play out in their entirety than to stunt the growth. And so they're learning on a whole different compassionate level what is kind right now. Silence is golden, I just heard. What is the advice for the feminines? Communion, contemplation, and higher mind. So yeah, go to a higher connection right now. If there is silence in your connection, ask for that higher wisdom to be shown as to how that could be. What is the ticket? What is beneficial at this time? Your counterpart is very telepathically in tuned in the 5D, very sensitive to what's going on in your life right now. And they are being very brave to go through this kind of dark tunnel with you and the connection at this point in an energy of kindness and delicacy, I just heard. What are they feeling on their heart space for you? Justice and 10 of Pentacles. So yeah, if you've got legal matters, if you are divorcing, child custody, financial matters, living situations, contracts, court cases, jail for some, whatever it may be, there are things that have to do with the justice system, legal system, or have those implications if you're not directly involved for the long-term benefit that still need to play out. So the masculines know that this is the only way that you're going to be fully free and clear to pursue and have the room in your life, divine feminines, for them to come in for the long term. They know that there is a growing opportunity between the two, but that whatever has to be sorted right now for you, so that can be karmic marriages, that can be all kinds of different things. Those things have to be settled first. Justice isn't in the upright, so they know that it's a little bit of a process for you. What would they say? The more the merrier. 3 of Cups, my third party card in the inverse. So they're saying those other parties, other options, other things need to be final, done and gone and finalized in order for the true ultimate long term. So if you've been in open connections, this is saying your masculine is not going for that anymore. They want you all to themselves. They want this connection to be completely monogamous, completely primary. They don't want that energy spread too thin. And so they are staying back until justice is served in whatever way. If you're distracted by worldly matters or contracts or previous arrangements, they are waiting it out. They want that done and over. Prism of existence is the advice for the feminines. Separation, extension, independence, and identity. Okay, so just keep, this is my other twin flame card. We got the belonging one. See how they have the central column and then the 2 autonomous. These are the only 2 cards in this deck that have that. So this is all about claiming your independence and really coming into your ascended identity. We got that noble energy for the feminines yesterday. Masculines are holding their own too. And these are the standards that have risen, where 2 are joined in unconditional love and sovereign, free, and accountable to in their own right on their side of the energy. What can we see for what the masculines are wishing in their own lives at this time? Secretly, King of Wands. This is that King of Wands card that already came up. So they're holding back. We already had the 7 of Swords as well. So secretly, they're just waiting for the time to come in, for everything to be settled. They're wishing to know when that is. They're also working on their own fidelity, I'm hearing. King of Wands is my monogamous king. So there are still things that the masculines are working out. So masculines, if you're watching this, it's okay to still be of 2 minds in the world and still sorting certain options out. I'm feeling other karmic partners, other sexual partners, other energies like that still floating around in the ether, and you're still coming to the awarenesses that help you discern true connection. You might still have options or people around just for sex or convenience somehow. But as you come into your spiritual understanding, those are going to fall away. It's like your eyes are starting to be opened with the Seven of Swords in the inverse like that. It's like you can't delude yourself anymore. As you're asking for the feminines to clear and just focus on you, you're also seeing how other options don't do it for you anymore, genuinely. What would the masculines say? It's all in how you look at it. Yeah, so they know that commitment is an inside job, spiritual development is an inside job, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, all of that. So the masculines are understanding how much our reality is dependent on our internal assessment of what's going on. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And the masculines are recognizing that they are changing, that they have seen you change, divine feminines. What is the advice for the feminines? Spiritual strength, virtue, and valor. Stay the course. Keep becoming your best version. Keep exuding that version of you that you've always wanted to be, always known that you were going to be. Maintain that when no one's looking. Be that self. What are the masculines' wishes for these connections at this time? The Hermit in the reverse and the Eight of Swords. So there's the Eight of Swords again. That was the one with the feminine that could get themselves out of the trouble. Secretly they do. I mean, they wish. They may not be coming forward. They may a little bit. They may communicate in kind, minuscule ways right now, but they wish they could come out of Hermit and save the day and free you and get you out of trouble, out of harm's way, but they know that it's empowering for you to do it. What would they say about this? I feel so much that I do not say. The King of Cups, they love you more than they've ever loved anyone before. And yeah, I feel tears suddenly that they wish they could come in and do something, but they would rather leave well enough alone and have you come through it actually than talk down to you by doing it for you. They're seeing how it would be disrespectful to presume that they know what you're dealing with and how to solve it. And they certainly don't want to add insult to injury. What is the advice for the feminines? Temple of eventual destinies, benevolence, spiritual progression, and enlightenment. So just know that there is still this eventual destiny here, feminines, and keep going. What are the masculines' actions in their own lives at this time? Eight of Cups, they are walking away from something. Three of Pentacles, that can be third-party situations or circumstances in the physical. They could be also walking away from business agreements or arrangements or loans or financial struggles. The Three of Pentacles is my card of the investor. So this can mean they are walking away from investors or paying out loans, getting their finances in order, that they are seeing the connection between their emotions and how money has stuck in their life or not, how they've been frivolous or disrespectful of money, how they've been like a sieve for money when they were in emotional upheaval, I just heard. So they're correcting their money story. Their actions are in alignment with having abundance stick in their lives now because they're not setting things up for failure, saying yes to things they shouldn't. They're not saying no to opportunities that are actually good for them, and they're walking away from having to rely on external input as much for their own getting ahead or benefit. What would they say to you? Like a child. So there's some inner child healing, this root chakra stuff, this balancing out emotional balance. They're not needing other people to do it for them anymore, or not having to rely on an external support or investor that they've placed more maturity on or more credibility on. I just heard they've got more street cred now. The divine masculines have more experience with finances, more experience knowing their capacity, and so this is empowering their childhood wounding. What do the feminines need to know about this? discernment, discipline, and order. 11, I'm hearing it's paralleled. So you're also going through a rite of passage where you're understanding how to say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. And that is giving you the backbone, the constitution to make healthy choices for your abundance going forward. What are the masculines' actions towards these connections? Ooh, communication and 2 of Wands. So they are making a choice to communicate. They're going to be communicating soon. If you're not in communication, if you are in communication, they're going to be opening up the can of worms that has seemed like it wasn't time yet to start talking about plans. This can be travel, this can be moving, this can be collaborating. They are stepping out of their comfort zone. They want to talk to you about things that they haven't felt were warranted in the past. They want to see some progress, some growth with a new kind of way of living, and they want to ask your opinion on a few ideas that they've had. Long-term success, yeah, they really are focused on the 2 being left standing and what could be accomplished if you put your innovative heads together. I just heard. What is the advice for the feminines? Spine of fire, true self, passion, motivation, and purpose. Know yourself, feminines. Know yourself so that you don't bend in inappropriate ways when your masculine comes in. And I'm not saying they're going to try and take advantage, but if you don't represent yourself impeccably, that's what lends itself to a wobbly foundation. So prepare by knowing your core, by knowing what is in alignment with you and what your intrinsic motivations are. What are your reasons for anything you do? What are your priorities? What is your authentic desire? You're going to need to know that because your masculine wants to put your lives together, wants to hear your soul thoughts, wants to collaborate theirs. I just saw with these sticks, it's like shame, shame. Kissing. So there's going to be a romantic progression here, but it's going to be that perfect blending of business and life and fun and purpose and love relationship for these connections. So again, know yourself, feminines. What is the biggest challenge for the masculines at this time? Wow, this period of pause and the 2 of Swords now in the reverse, though, that everything in their lives has been blocked and stalled in regard to movement forward. They've had to focus on something that has seemed to put the brakes on everything else they would otherwise be up to in their lives. That's the challenge. What would they say to you about it? It seems perfect to me. So they're learning in this blockage with the 2 of Swords in the reverse like that. That's like the eye of the needle. It's like the angle that is the perfect angle. So they have seen something. Something has been illuminated. Ping. Brought to their consciousness. Divinely given. With the crown chakra lit there. They see we got the I know how to do it right message the other day in the masculine reading. So they have an idea that they think seems perfect. So that's the challenge, is the timing, the way that this idea is going to roll out, that they likely haven't shared it with you yet, that they do want to communicate. So I guess that's what the communication is about, stepping out of comfort zone, a plan that they feel might work. We saw the masculines in a recent reading planning behind the scenes, taking it upon themselves to set the stage for things. Whatever this idea is that they're having, it seems perfect to them. And I do want to say quite a bit of telepathic connection has been going on for the masculines to get this, especially with the energetic stuff. But whatever has caused them to do this, it seems like most of the masculines have been in a little bit of a timeout, or in hermit mode, or in this hanged one energy where they have had to be in isolation in some way, or out of their typical daily activities. They've had some kind of new scenario where they've had more time to think than in the past. And they are coming up with some ideas, but I'm getting that it's because they haven't shared that with you, divine feminines. What is the advice? Subconscious awareness, Akashic information. So this is that energetic conduit between the two. But go deep right now. Really think about things in a broader sense. If you've been having dreams, I'm hearing pay attention to those dreams right now. If you've been daydreaming or feeling like you've been telepathically connected with your counterpart, take that into consideration right now. Take a moment and say, have I had subconscious telepathic transference with my masculine lately that I haven't taken the time to just stop and consciously smell those roses? Because it does feel like there's been a bridging in the energy that has been setting the tone for the material realm conversations this way. What is the solution for these challenges? Okay, the Emperor and Five of Cups. So letting go of control issues. So this is going to be humbling as these communications come in, these ideas the masculines have. They're going to have to let go of needing to be right and force these things to happen. They're also going to have to let go of the idea that they haven't showed up in the past this way. So there is a humbling motion, a very sincere... My brain, I'm seeing this cloud as a mustache and hearing, I must ask you a question. But yeah, masculines bringing some humor in, I guess, you know, putting down the control and just being genuine, lighthearted. I'm going to say it again. Laughter is when we think of something or we're given some information that causes us to instantly connect new brain circuitry, new neural pathways. And the laughter, I think, is like the energetic firing, the output when we get that happening. So yeah, it does seem like the past is going to be reconciled by, you know, coming forward and saying, yeah, you know, I've been thinking about it and I think we could be a good team. I think we could figure this out. I think there are some great advantages in our combination here, and doing it in a way that is lighthearted and not controlling masculines. Is it worth it? The masculines are saying, and I'm getting that sense, you know, with the histories here. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? They know that it hasn't been easy so far. They know it's unusual. They know it's not a typical anything in these connections. And so they are asking, is it worth it? Well, spoiler alert, masculines, your feminines think it's worth it. They love you so much. What is the advice for the feminines? Intention, innovation, scientific pursuits. Yeah, let's go for it. Scientific pursuits to me is the practical application. So yeah, when your masculine says, is it worth it? Don't believe the hype of the fear. Be like, yeah, it's worth it. This is what we've been waiting for, to get on the same page. Let's do this. Let's figure it out. What is the direction in the next 3 weeks? Wow. Queen of Swords. So communication, they want to know. Four of Cups in the reverse is a second chance coming back around, not thinking that the good times are only in the past, but realizing we can move on from that. We can do better. We can go forward. Tact, timing, grace. And what would the masculines say to the feminines? This is next level stuff, but it's in the inverse. And I just heard we've been already on the next level energetically, and then it's going to roll out into the physical. So that's why the messages came through. Pay attention to what you've been thinking energetically, what ideas and negotiations and topics and all that has been cycling in the energetic realms, because it's already been anchoring and designed in the energetic realms in order to come in through tact, timing, grace. What is the advice for the feminines? Mastery, accountability, and acceptance. So this is part of mastery. We design in the energetic realms and then it rolls out into the physical, and those around us say, what? Accept it, feminines. This is the new way of manifesting. And so, yeah, we lay a solid energetic foundation, and then when it comes into the physical, it's rock solid and beautiful, and we can be on to the next thing. Really cool stuff. Being told to get one more card. Actually, let's do an intimacy card. Where are the intimate connections at? What is the atmosphere for intimacy here? What's that cutting edge? with the masculines and feminines. So the Hanged One. So we did get that kind of energy a few times, but this is in the inverse. Why can't I find it? There we go. So in the inverse, a little teasing and frustration can yield great satisfaction and insight when you're finally relieved. Make sure you decide when it ends. Beware of an uncomfortable limbo, treachery, being stuck in a role. So we're getting out of the Hanged One energy because it's gone on too long. You know, we're right on that edge where it's, you know, one day it becomes more painful to remain in the bud than to blossom. We're getting there. And that's the natural way, right? In the nick of time, right at the end, poof, the flower opens. Sometimes overnight. Okay, everybody, bye for now. Much love.